And so, welcome to part 3 on death. And so, we're continuing with the discarnate soul. So, pretty much the closest thing that you could imagine to what we consider to be hell would be to be a discarnate soul. Because you do enter into this prison like environment in which it's riddled with factions and gangs, and there are leaders and there are followers, and what it is that these disincarnate beings are doing. As a discarnate being, you begin to realize that life as a human is no longer as it is as a human, and that you have, in a way, paranormal powers. You can travel wherever it is that you want. You can interface in people's dreams. You can make all sorts of things happen, but it's not something that you realize at first when you're first thrust into this kind of dark, gray, negative environment, the closest thing to Gotham City as could be. But you could be right in the middle of exactly where it was that you were just prior to your death, and everything has changed its aspect and its texture and its energetic form. And so what happens now is that in order to feed and also to keep yourself safe, because you can technically die in this incarnate world. You die from lack of accumulation of energy. The energy that you originally came into this other world came into the other world with will soon wear out, and if it does run out, guess where you go? You go to the place that you refused to go to in the beginning, which is to go into the light, which is to then go into the dream narrative, to bring you into the cauldron, to basically take away your individuality and mix your soul with other souls. So in the way you lose, depending on, as we spoke before, what kind of a person you were and what kind of level your soul was crystallized at, but that you lose who you were and come into the world again anew, starting the process over. And for those on the other side that understand this process, that is scary for them, because obviously we all enjoy our egoistic individuality, and the threat of losing that is almost sounds like an abomination to most who don't understand exactly why the principle is happening. But regardless, so in this gang wasteland that it is that you're in, faced with this hunger and inevitable death if you do not in some way, shape or form survive, is that you'll probably be confronted, just like somebody might in a prison courtyard, to join a particular gang or group. And usually this gang or group is led by a disincarnate being who's quite powerful and has been on the other side there for quite some time, and has figured out how to survive, and has figured out the capacities of their paranormal abilities. And in this sense, they can use those paranormal abilities on the other disincarnate beings and make them feel all sorts of terrible feelings. It's a way like almost Darth Vader using the Force could choke somebody from across the room. Well, that's kind of how it is in this other wasteland. And so you might not have even been all that bad of a soul, just like you might not have even been all that bad of a person going into prison. But once you get into the mix of things, you end up becoming just like all the other prisoners. And the more that you engage in the kind of activity which gives you energy in order to survive, the more shameful and terrible what it is that you do is, and the more that you want to avoid the light to begin with, because obviously there's some sense of sinfulness that you've got to confront. There's some sense of having to look at yourself in the mirror in this other state. And so you perpetuate and continue to become, in your wanton lust and desire for more and more energy, as you see that more and more energy makes you all more powerful. You are hurried along in the process of accumulating energy, learning how to do so, and eventually, ever just like here amongst humans, and in particular situations with gangs or companies in general, what's always happening? The small guy at the bottom wants to work his way up to the top and take the position of the guy who's sitting at the top position. And this is part of this hellish situation where it's always watch your back, because the person under you is might be making a move to take your position over and overpower you and become the leader of whatever clique or gang you've been a part of. And so that is how it works on the other side. We will talk some other time about how disincarnate beings accumulate their energy, and how it is that in this situation now we have a double entendre of both disincarnate being forces, as well as forces that are outside of the Earth system. We can call them alien forces, whether they're disincarnate or incarnate, but that they are both working on trying to take on over humanity and juice us all for whatever energy we have left in us, to satiate their desire for eternal life and more power. But we'll go on talking about what happens if you've been conscious in your life in just the next part. See you soon. Bye-bye.